On the first day of Craftmas, Sammy showed me how to make one Christmas countdown, and that's what we're going to make this week. Hey creatives! Welcome to week 1 of Craftmas! This is really itchy, I'm going to have to take it off. So yeah, hey and welcome to Sammy Says Create. This is the channel where I do all sorts of DIY and creative projects and I bring you along for the ride. And I am so excited to say that it is almost Christmas. So this is my first official Christmas on YouTube and I knew that I wanted to do something really fun for you guys. So this is where I decided that I was going to join in on Craftmas. I will be treating you guys to 6 Christmas themed videos so that you can get some festive inspiration for your Craftmas. One Christmas countdown. So this Christmas countdown is really fun and a really exciting idea for you to be able to count down the days till Christmas. This uses up some scraps of your fabrics that you might have lying around and it's just generally a really fun and festive thing to do. What you will need to create this Christmas countdown is pieces of scrap material. Now I have this gorgeous tweed offcuts in my craft stash, but any sorts of scrap material will do. Some clothes peg, string or some twine. I've just got this red and green kind of embroidery thread, my trusty steed, my glue gun and glue sticks. I have a selection of paints and paint brushes, Christmassy embellishments, a blackboard paint and a plain canvas. Or you could be as creative as you like with this. You could use a photo frame or just a piece of cardboard. You will also need a sewing machine and some thread if you would like to sew your pockets together. Otherwise, just some fabric glue will work just as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a background onto my canvas. So just be as creative as you want with this, maybe go to Pinterest and get some ideas. But what I wanted to do was create like a tartan effect that kind of tied in quite nicely with my tweed. So while that was drying, I moved on to creating the little pockets for our Christmas countdown kind of / advent calendar. So this is where the scraps of fabric comes in really handy. I didn't measure it, I didn't do any specific sizes, I just saw what scraps I had and kind of just created loads of different shapes and sizes. So you can do the same. I like the idea of having the stitching on the outside of the pocket as I thought it kind of added to the rusticy effect. So it was simply a straight stitch along 3 edges so that you have your little pocket. If you don't like the stitching on the outside, then just make sure that you initially sew your fabric wrong side up and then turn your pocket the other way around once you've sewn it, and that way you won't be able to see the stitching, it'll just be a nice little neat pocket. As always, make sure you do a couple front stitches and a couple back stitches when you start off your sewing, just to make sure it's all nice and tightly in place. When you get to your corners, keep your needle in your material, lift up your presser foot and just simply spin your fabric, pop your foot back down and carry on stitching, and that way you can go around the corners without having to restart a new line of stitches every time. And if you're not stitching, if you're using the fabric glue method, then essentially where we're stitching here, you are putting a line of the fabric glue, one down each of the 3 sides, and put your other piece on top to stick them together. Now we have our 25 pockets, we're going to grab our wooden clothes pegs, we're going to attach these to our pockets, and as we go we're just going to write the numbers on them. So obviously we're numbering 1 to 25 so that we know which pocket is to open on which day. So we're just going to clip them for now just to our pocket as we go. So next we're going to take our string or our twine, or in my case my embroidery thread, my red and green thread to match with the Christmas colours, and I just cut out 25 different lengths of the string. I did them all different lengths so it made it a little bit different, but it's completely up to you if you want to keep them the same length. Then using my glue gun, I took one end of the thread and glued it to the top edge of the back of the peg. Now be careful with this, these glue guns are quite hot, and I did just kind of have to use my fingers to mould the glue to the right place here. But whatever method works best for you, I found the glue gun did really stay really well, so. Then I moved on to just finishing my design that was on the front of my canvas. So here I'm just drawing a rectangle, and this is what I'm going to paint over the blackboard paint to give me that blackboard countdown. And then I just kind of went on to write days till Christmas. Now you could kind of obviously interpret this the way you want, do whatever you want with this and put whatever you want on this. This is all your own creativity, so have some fun with it. I then added some Christmassy embellishments just to give it that extra touch of Christmassy sparkle, which is what we all need this time of year. Once that is all dry, then flip your canvas over, and that was a good save there with that glue gun, Sammy. We're going to glue in the same way that we glued the string to the pegs. We're going to glue the other end of the string to the back of the canvas. So just make sure you're popping plenty of glue on there just to keep it all secure, because if you put things that are a little bit heavy in the pockets, you need to just make sure it's really stable. But yeah, just glue these at different lengths if you want to. That's what I did, just so it added a little bit of kind of different levels to it, and then just go over the whole thing once it's all stuck down with another layer of glue, so you can never have too much glue. Now you can either use the same string or twine for this next bit, but if you've got something fancier then go ahead. I had this really nice big thick gold kind of string, so I just glue gunned this to the top to create my hanger. Again, make sure you double up on the glue on this, because this is what's going to be hanging it, and all the kind of the strength needs to make sure that's all just, I don't even know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? The strength needs to be in the hanger, because that's going to be holding all the heavy weight. And my finishing step was just to paint on my blackboard paint. Now just double check the back of your paint pot and see what the instructions are on your paint, because they might all be different, but on mine I had to leave an hour between each layer and then 24 hours to completely cure the paint before I put the chalk on. So each layer needed to be going in separate directions. So I did one layer going one way, left it to dry, did a layer going the other direction, and then left it for a full day to dry out. Now for the most important step, and that is to fill it with your goodies. So get yourself a selection of goodies of different sizes that's going to fit in your pockets, pop them all in, and you have your Christmas countdown. So make sure you like and subscribe to keep up with the rest of Craftmas, and make sure to tag me on Instagram if you make any of these festive creations. So I will see you back here for the second week of Craftmas. Until then, keep creative. Bye. My gingerbreads are creeping as I'm playing this. Bye bye gingerbread. Stay gingerbread, stay.